Hello, my name is Bintel Powell. This video, this PowerPoint explainer video is designed to give folks an understanding of what the pricing for this initiative is. I'm an author. I'm the author and CEO of these two books. My first book was Betrayed, and the second one is The Formula, which is the subject of this video. Both of them are connected. Betrayed is more of a socio-economic meditation on colorism, and The Formula is on finance and entrepreneurship. I'm a graduate of Northeastern University. I studied electrical engineering back in the early 90s, and I graduated, came back to New York, and worked as a sales engineer because I wanted to make money. And this is how I was motivated by making money. And I noticed in the newspaper that the highest paying jobs were not for the engineers, but for the salespeople. And this is where I discovered this phenomena of a disruptive innovation, the most powerful technology in the world, and a unicorn company, which is a tech company doing $1 billion in sales in its first year. And as a sales engineer, someone who could not just engineer the product but sell it, I discovered that I was capable of creating both. Unbeknownst to me, because Northeastern never told me what a disruptive innovation was. They sort of taught me and blinded me, as they did all of their engineering students. As such, Northeastern had a 90% dropout rate in the first semester, which is pretty common. A lot of engineers that I've met with since then, or young kids, come to me crying. They say they want to drop out. They don't know what they're studying. And it's all because my belief is that the United States, the corporate giants of the United States, the tech companies, are telling the schools, don't teach them enough to be our competition. Teach them just enough to be our employees. But only the kids that attend Ivy League schools are learning what disruptors are and how to make them. So my goal is to sort of level the playing field by teaching all students, not just the Ivy League kids, what disruptors are and how to make them. I worked for companies like Canon, AT&T, Sprint. I was their sales henchman. I was the one that they sent out to sell the technology that they made. And again, that's where I discovered all this, and I am trying to disrupt the entire tech industry by teaching everyone, not just the Ivy League kids, what disruptors and unicorns are and how to make them. So for colleges, there's no better way to prepare students for what they're going to face in the real world than to teach them how to make their own company. Here we're using a business model. This is part of the curriculum. If you were to teach it as a class, and the students would learn how to make these models, these visual pictures help them to be able to visualize the process of how a company works, non-specific to any industry. And the thesis of the program is that even nations are corporations. So the thesis of the entire program is that all companies are made of only two parts: the part that engineers the product and the part that sells it. All the other jobs are in between to help those two parts to engineer more products and to sell more products. And those two, as I said before, I was a sales engineer, and those two hemispheres of a company lead to making a disruptor like Uber and turning it into a unicorn like Amazon. Amazon is not even a unicorn; it's way above that. It's like there's levels to it. A unicorn is just a company doing $1 billion in sales in its first year. And this is very seductive to students, young and old, to grown folks as well. And we teach them to sort of I hate to use that word brainwash, but to get them to understand that dropping out of school will immediately disqualify you from ever playing at this level. And if they snap back with something like, well, Bill Gates did it and he dropped out, we come back and we say, hey, Bill Gates' mother was on the board of IBM. So unless you have a mom who's on the board of IBM, and unless you were making the software for your high school, designing their accounting packages while you were in high school, you are no Bill Gates. All right. So we have to basically just dispel all the myths of that in the student's mind that they find, that they hear in pop culture, that they can drop out and still become successful, and they will never do it on this level, especially if they are underserved populations of black and brown children. You have never heard of a tech billionaire well, there are no black tech billionaires except for one gentleman. I forget his name, but you will never hear of a tech billionaire dropping out of college and then going on to become successful. It just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. So the kids will understand that the rappers and athletes secretly look up to these people, and it'll realign their value as far as what they can accomplish with their education. And they love it. They take to it. They want to be disruptors. Entrepreneurship is a hot button topic, and if we can convince them that we can teach them to make a Uber, they're all in. And dropping out of school becomes a thing of the past. So for colleges, we have 3 different packages here. The deluxe package, there are 4 hemispheres to all of technology that we teach the students what they are and how to use them to make the disruptors and the unicorns. Right? There's only 4 of them, and they're in the book, and we show them how to use them in the book. But from what we're hoping to do is a lecture series tour where we would work with the students in sort of a seminar fashion for 2-3 hours, teaching them how to use the different hemispheres that they can use to make the unicorn and the disruptor. And this is not just for the engineers. This is all majors. All industries are going to be eaten by technology. So everyone has to learn how to do this. The CEO of TikTok did not study engineering, but he is a $1 billion tech CEO, founder, right? So for each lecture, we price it out at $22.50, which we're in New York, so in New York that includes like $100 each way for like a Uber. If you'll do all 4, obviously that's whatever that number is, like $9,000 for all 4. And then you can also get the books for the kids, and that's just $16.99 for the price of the book, and however many students you have, right? And then there's an option which some of the provosts that I've spoken with have said, well, how are we going to train the staff? And yes, to train staff for the entire school year, because we don't want to leave and then the people forget about this and then the excitement and fervor dies down. So to train your staff for the entire year, we charge $5,000, which is all you can eat, unlimited teacher, professor support, so we can show them how to infuse this mentality in their lessons and what they're currently teaching, regardless of their major. Right? Even if they're studying journalism, disruptors are here to disrupt journalism. I think ChatGPT is disrupting the journalist market, right? So these disruptors are coming for every industry, and when they come for you, the only way to defend yourself from them is to make a better disruptor. So, and that we want to basically indoctrinate the students in every aspect of their life on campus to program them that this is what you're going to do. And for $5,000, we will work with your staff to do that so that they can keep this mentality alive. And then we also, which is not listed here, we have outreach in the public schools, where some of the colleges have reps that go into the public schools to get the kids prepared so that before they even arrive on campus, they would know this. And again, dropping out of college would be non-negotiable for them, because as I said before, at Northeastern, because we weren't prepared, 90% of the freshmen dropped out of their engineering program in the first year because they didn't know what they were getting involved with. But that, if we do this outreach, that won't happen. And in the schools, we charge $5,000 a semester to train the staff, and we have all these lesson plans, digital lesson plans that are pretty similar to this, that teach the kids how to do everything from designing and reverse engineering a product to writing TV commercials and doing business plans. It's like the Shark Tank for engineers. We turn the school into a technology incubator where they make the disruptor and the unicorn. So that's the deluxe package. And it comes, when you add all the stuff up, it comes up to a pretty penny. It's not cheap, right? So as an alternative to that, we offer the full package, where we just do one lecture, right, for $25.50. The books for the kids, and there's an audio book, there's an ebook, and then there's a soft cover book, and then we also offer the training as well, but that's optional, right? And that's so for the full package, you can get one training, one lecture series with the kids where we do a crash course on all 4 of the tools that are explained in other videos on the website, and then books for the kids, and then the training. And that brings the price down considerably. And then for the most inexpensive package, just to get started, what I'm proposing, just to show you as an administrator and a decision maker what sort of an appetite your kids have for this, we'll just say, hey, why don't we just start them with the books, give them a video that they can watch, very similar to this, to get them hyped up about being disruptors and unicorns, give them the audio book and an ebook, right? Because we're actually probably backlogged on the softcover books. Give them an audio book and an ebook so that they can listen to me read the whole book to them, and then pull up the ebooks because they're figures and diagrams so they can see it and listen to it. And if they love it as much as I'm saying that they're going to love it, because they are, it always works. And if they say, hey, we really want to delve into this, then we can look at the full package or the deluxe package based on budget and all sorts of other real factors that'll play into your decision making. But just to get started, we'll say, if you have, I don't know, however many students you have that you would like to put through this, like all your freshmen, for the cost of $16.99, we will give them the audio book and the ebook, because they're not going to read the softcover book. They're going to look at it and touch it, but they're not going to read it. They have enough to read. We want to make this as easy as possible for them, almost like watching a movie. So they'll listen to the audio book, and they'll be able to pull up the ebook on their screen so that they can look at all the diagrams and learn about it, and then we can really see what they feel and how they think about it. And if they really want to get into learning disruptors and unicorns, which who doesn't want to be a disruptor and become a billionaire? It's almost a foregone conclusion. Then we can get into so the book is written out like half autobiography and half textbook, and there are 9 acts to the entire book, and these are the acts of the book. And you can listen to 4.5 to 5 of the audio chapters on the website for free. You just scroll down to the middle of the page where you see the cover of the book without this young man looking at it, and you can listen to them. I think they're pretty entertaining, and you can get a feel of how the kids would digest this information. And if you like it, I'm sure your kids will like it. And these are just the titles of the chapters, so you can get a sense of what the kids will be learning in assembly in Act 3, assembly instructions included. That entire act is designed to teach the students how to assemble the machine. Like when you buy toys for your kids' Christmas and they have assembly instructions included, that's what that chapter is. So that's really engineering there, and then the rest of them are stories so that the kids would understand it.